Okay, so we are back. It is the next day. We're going to call this part 3. Part 1, we let all this sound ending stuff down. And we did get our new box. Like I had mentioned, if you guys watched the previous video, I ordered one more box. So we are going to do all back here in the dash. This little piece right here. And we're going to throw some inside the door, which I just kind of threw a little leftover piece in there. We'll put some in there. That stuff is just pretty much exactly like that video. So if you've never put this stuff down, go back about 2 videos and then you'll see how we clean the floor up, scratched it up, stuff that I use, how to put that down. Very easy stuff, but go back and check that out. Now, as far as for the retro sound, Bluetooth stereo, we got that kind of dialed in yesterday, kind of mocked up, but we did take it down. There's a couple stuff that I missed, like this little thing needs to be screwed in there, and then that comes with that little brace, so we need to bend that, and then that gets kind of screwed into here, hold it in place. I did want to adjust the volume knobs just a little bit more to get it just, perfect. And since it's already out, I disconnected the harness. So I'm actually putting the speaker wires together to this thing. That way, once I connect it, we can just call that good. And, plug in our antenna and all that good stuff. So I did decide, after reading a couple of you guys' comments, I was thinking about running an external amp to all these speakers, but some of you guys were interested in how does the unit perform by itself. So it is internally amplified, and upgraded stock unit. It's pretty much what it is. It does have Bluetooth. You can wire a subwoofer to it. It's got USB connections. So it's definitely a good unit, but I agree with a lot of you guys is, well, if we connect that to an amp, then, what can that thing do really, how does it perform by itself? And since I've never owned one before, I have no idea. So I am going to wire the speakers directly to the stereo. We're going to be running 2 6x9s Pioneers. We'll get to those in a minute once we get all this thing situated. Our kick panels are here, so we're going to have to mount those. So there's a little bit of trimming that needs to be done, and I need to get these holes marked up and drilled out, and we'll mount those, and then we'll sound deadening those two also. And this is what I'm using. Now, I found these on TikTok somewhere, and it's for the DIY electrician guys that should have used solder instead of electrical tape. Now, I am 100% an electrical tape guy, believe me. This is the first time using these things. They are pretty cool, but, let me see if I can do this one-handed. So, basically, one wire is going to go in here, and in the center, there's like a little solder thing in there. And this guy's going to go on the other side. You make both wires pass each other inside. And then I purchased one of these. This is like a little heater. This is a mini gun, 350 watts. All this stuff is available on Amazon. I'm sure there's top-notch stuff out there, but I wanted to give these things a try, and I did one, and super simple. Threw it in there, and I heated it up. The little center melts, and you see it kind of melt on the wires. So that's pretty cool. There's a instruction right there. That's it. So let me knock these out, because we are in a pretty big time crunch now. I think today is the 11th, so we're getting close to the middle of this month. So we need to start rocking and rolling for sure. So you can see right here all their functions: back right, front right, blah 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 blah. So that stuff is very very simple. Everything is in here. If you've never wired up a stereo, it's cool when you got all these things telling you exactly where everything goes. But if you have wired stereos in the past, which I have, this is pretty self-explanatory stuff. Um, Connect positive to positive, negative to negative, and put each speaker wire where they go according to how they're wired up. So let me knock some of these out, 2 backs and 2 fronts, and then I'll cut you guys back on. I'll throw you guys on the charger for a second and out of the heat, so hopefully the phone won't die. It's another hot one, but that's a story of our life over here right now. And let me continue on, and welcome back, guys. So let's check this out, and man, let's see how long this thing takes. Hopefully much longer than an hour, but nothing lasts an hour around here. I got you guys off the charger for a little bit. We officially got a big old mess in here. Oh, we're getting stung by bees. So we started getting our speaker wires and all kind of set up. I like using this loom stuff. Just makes it more appealing. But as far as these guys are awesome. I do recommend these guys. These are cool. I'm definitely not used to it. Like I said, I would just be running electrical tape, but I finally figured out how to actually use them properly. So you slide it on one side of the cable, and you twist these guys together, and then you slide this over it. I don't know if I could do it with one hand. Oh, there we go. Slide that over it till that's right over the joint, or where they join together, and then you heat that up. So that's just to let you guys know. I mean, I can't do it with one hand, but. And then this guy is pretty cool too. I do recommend it. It's a nice little tool, especially with the little heat shield thing he's got, because it actually heats up the back side at the same time as the front, because the heat goes around that thing. So that worked out great. Another thing is I am going to repurpose the bracket that was holding on to the factory stereo. I had to bend it and kind of rework it to fit this bigger magnet, but it is going to work. You know, it's not pretty, but it will work, and it is holding. Kind of had to finagle it and bend it, but it is working. And it's not going to fit in the original holes because this speaker is a lot bigger, more wider, and it's deeper this way with the magnet. But it's just bringing down that bracket just a little bit further down. That way this thing sits flush right over the existing grill. So that's going to be cool. You don't have to fabricate anything. I definitely didn't want to put no screw holes or anything in there, so that worked out good. What else? I guess that's it for now. Let me put that bracket in, and then we'll bolt this back in, and then I'll show you how that worked out. And I think we're ready to put the stereo back in and connect our speaker harness. I need to finish up the power side. This is a power keyed on ignition power. Then you got your ground. Black is ground. Then yellow is your, I think this was the constant. Oh, here's the, there it is. Yellow is constant voltage. Blue if you got a power antenna. Red is ignition power, 12 volts. Black is ground, and then your amp turn on is your blue one. So for now, we're just gonna need the red, the black, and the yellow. I don't have the battery hooked up yet, so I won't be able to know which one is keyed on ignition. I don't know it by memory. I mean, I can kind of guess. I do kind of remember, but you know, I don't want to be guessing, especially on electrical stuff. But I will run enough wire down to there to get these hooked up here soon. Maybe we could hook up that battery today. I've been really wanting to, but I'm just not ready for it yet. But I will have everything as far as wires ready for when we do set that up. And another thing too, I opted for another bracket, so I'm gonna run another GSI bracket on this opposite side. For the near future, I think a double battery is good, just in case we need it. I don't think we will, but it's good to know that I do have a bracket in case we decide to run another battery on the other side. It'll match, and we'll have plenty of power for anything that we throw at this guy. So let me stop talking. Let me finish up with these power wires, and let's mount that speaker, and let me mount that stereo, and I'll cut you guys back. All right. Okay, we are now finished with the retro sound installation. Let me walk you through this real quick. Let me go around this other side so you can show you the back side. Okay. So we finally mounted it all the way with the buttons, how the buttons I wanted the buttons to be. This is like a, I'm not sure what these do actually. They're like a, it does have a button. Maybe you can scroll through the song maybe or something. Not sure. We'll see later on once we actually run some power, but I'll put you in here. So that speaker that I put in there, barely, it's like it's touching it, but there's no force on it, but it is sitting on there, and that speaker's it's tight, so I'm gonna call that a win. I did put the strap on the stereo, so the speaker is not just sitting on the stereo. It's actually sitting on the strength of the strap that's on here, right there. Can't go up any further because it's flush on top. Can't go down on the stereo, so that is like as close as you're gonna get that. So I call that good. It does come with the USB connection on this stereo, and I'm gonna run it through this what the heck is this thing called? Cigarette holder or coin tray. I don't know what the heck it's called, but I did drill a little hole in the corner. We're gonna slide that guy in here, so that'll live in there, and we are done with our harness. So we will connect our harness and put the power wires on that side. So we got plenty of power wire. We got the blue one for the amp, which we'll be running an amp in here for sure. Just don't know which kind. I might possibly just do like an under-seat subwoofer and just run it off of the stereo. It does have a subwoofer output directly on the stereo, and I believe that the ones that go under seat are powered, so you just connect straight to it, and it has its own like a bass knob. And with the 6x9s, and then the 6x6.5 or 6x6.5s, and the kick panels, I think we should have more than enough sound in here. Um, I'm big on motors and I like exhaust sounds, but I do like my radio. So let me wrap this up, get this all cleaned up, and then we're gonna open up our box and we're gonna continue to do this all up in here with the sound deadening. I have these cover panels for the firewall. I have them painted. They are drying right now. There. So we will throw that on so we can rhino line. I keep calling it rhino line. Sound deadening. Put it right here. And here's our brand new antenna. That is also from Retro Sound. So Retro Sound, here you guys go. This is your guys' shout out. We are running a Retro Sound stereo antenna, the Retro Sound on the kicker panels from Retro Sound. So we should be having a real slick. Oh, and this is why I went with this unit. Look, it's beautiful. Just enough shine. It is Bluetooth, but it's got that old school look. You don't have to drill no holes. Just, you seen, it didn't take me very long. You know, it takes longer to try to dial it in and make it look nice and run your wires, your harness. But other than that, this looks good. And we'll be running these wires to the back. And yeah, let's get on with it. Well, it looks like it got a little bit late on us again, but I got a light now. A little bit winded, but we're on crunch time now, so every minute counts now. But let me show you what we got so far. We did connect the stereo all the way. Everything's connected. We have our antenna hooked up. We have our microphone hooked up. We have our USB connector in here. I just drilled a hole back there and ran the wires inside there. No big deal, pretty easy. I started putting the firewall, well, at least this side. I started on this side, went around, got to this side, and we put our first kick panel up. It did take some trimming to make it fit perfect, and it's on there. We did relocate the holes. Really simple trick. I guess I'll show you guys on the other side, but basically when this is off, line this up, make yourself a mark, put that over, mark where the holes are, and then take the tape off, put this back where it goes, put the tape right back on the same mark those holes, and then your little holes will be right behind there. Hopefully, if you lined it up, it should be pretty close. But kick panel is in, and it's every bit of 8, about to be 8:30. So about to hit it for about another hour. Go inside, eat, take a shower. I'm starting to get a little bit burnt out, but that is the end of today. And I'll leave you here, and then we'll start again tomorrow. Alrighty, guys. Peace out.